Hello there, and welcome to the Wandering Wolf channel. I'm your host, Mark Rhodes. Now, you may have noticed that I didn't play the music, and there's a good reason for that. I can't find it on the screen. And you may also have noticed that Mr. Craig Forward isn't here. He's had a bit of a family emergency, so hopefully we'll get him on the stream a bit later on. But you got my ugly mug for an hour or so. And yeah, it's nice to be back, and it's also nice to be wearing my Wolves top. And there's a reason for this, obviously, because we played brilliantly, didn't we? In both games. First up on Thursday, we played a very, very poor Watford side, and I don't know how you feel about it, but I was like unbelievably happy with our performance. Watford probably the worst team seen at Molineux this season, definitely. Massive hello to Stuart Kelsall. How you doing, mate? Amalu Burton. Yeah, thank you for dropping by. Always a pleasure. Yeah, I just want to know what you think of how we're doing. Just looking at the table, it's looking a lot rosier, isn't it? Let's go through the team for Watford, because I wasn't surprised that we went more attacking. Watford aren't a great team. We were playing at home, obviously. So Sarr in goal. You got Cody, Sais, and the return of Mr. Willy Bolly. Who was surprised by that? I I think I was pretty surprised by it. A couple of months ago we were saying, is it the end of Willy Bolly? Will we ever see him in a Wolves shirt again? And let's be honest, it was like he hadn't been away. What a performance! Brilliant performance by Willy Bolly. Didn't put a foot wrong. Granted, he was up against quite limited opposition, but you say that about Watford. However, they went and beat Southampton. So it's making we trounced them, didn't we? Look even better. So yeah, you had those three centre backs. You had Aitnery on the left, and you had Johnny on the right. Now, I don't think it is too big of a compliment to say that this man was probably, before his horrendous injury, our best player. Am I being too? I don't know. Am I being a little bit over? Is there too much praise for Johnny? I thought he was absolutely fantastic. Used the ball really well. He hasn't got the lightning speed of Semedo or Aitnery, actually, but I never think he's going to lose the ball. I never do. And he didn't really against Watford. You look at some of the stats, like I've got them here. We had 10 shots to their 9, but the difference is that we had 5 on target and they had 0. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that, yeah, he was definitely our most consistent player of the evening. But then, oh yeah, Luke, I completely agree. That touch, I don't know who passed it back to him, but it was like in the air for absolutely ages, and he brought it down on a sixpence. It was just ridiculous. And the crowd, it was like we'd scored another goal. It was a fantastic first touch. It just shows you like the quality of the bloke. And we have got very, very good fullbacks. Who knows what's going to happen in the summer regarding Marcel, or I know there's a Brazilian club in for him, I think, that fancy him. But out of all of them, I think Marcel's probably the one that we don't mind losing. I think that's safe to say. But, let me know if you think otherwise. In the middle, we had Neves and Moutinho. Ruben Neves, good God. Like, not only that winner, not the winner, the 4th goal that he scored, which was just beautiful. He looked like by far the best player on the pitch. It was actually it was quite sad for Watford. I know he had a lot of time on the ball, but fantastic players make their own time, and that's the thing with Ruben Neves. He's playing in an area of the pitch now where he's getting more time on the ball, and if you give him time on the ball, then you're screwed, really. João Moutinho playing with him, two in the midfield, which obviously is a little bit different to the Everton game. But I think, right, this is where you've got to bear with me because I'm doing the actual thing. Oh yeah, back to winning ways. Woo! Thanks, Craig, for doing all this. But yeah, it was a masterclass really, and then you get Pedence, Wang and Jimenez, the forward three. So it was a proper 3-4-3 formation, and I personally think we play better in that formation. 3-5-2 is a lot sturdier, and we'll go on to the Everton game afterwards. But it it was the passing and the movement of the entire team that was really nice. It was also nice to really annoy Ben Foster, who had quite possibly the worst game I've ever seen from a keeper. He had a shocker for Pedence's goal, and he almost did it again, didn't he? It's interesting because I don't know about you, what you think of the midfield in general, but the difference, we'll come on to the Everton game, but having a two in midfield had no bearing on the outcome at all, and it actually made us play with more freedom, in my opinion. But Watford are a bad side, aren't they? They're a really bad side, and we'll talk about relegation and stuff because I think it's interesting because we've got Leeds, haven't we? And I think that's going to be a tough game. But the way we're playing, some of the stats that are coming out, one of them, what wasn't it that we've gone 14 away games? Is it on the trot or the entire season? I don't know. It doesn't matter. We've gone 14 away games without conceding a goal in the first half. That's the most ridiculous stat, and only Arsenal have done it. I can't. I really can't cope with how amazing that stat is and how well we are doing now. What a difference a week makes, guys? Last week we were all down, and we've beaten teams. That's what we're doing now. We're beating teams we should be beating with the talent in our team that we've got. Just look at the passes. Double the passes that Watford did. 666 to their 343. That's like we dominated, not necessarily. Well, yeah, 66% possession. That's crazy. Yeah, and Luke, I agree. West Ham Spurs drawing next week and us beating Leeds would then get very interesting. It would do for the fact that last week we were all, well, I don't want to say all, we weren't all doom and gloom, but I think we were saying that Europe was pretty much out of the question. I don't think it is now. We've got 46 points. We only got 45 all season last year. I think Bruno Lage deserves a lot of credit. He really does. And it's exciting as well. It was against Watford. It really was, because I felt every time we went forward, we were going to win. We were going to score, and it was just nice to put a team away. We didn't win 1-0. It wasn't fluky. It was, as soon as we scored the first goal, that was it. We were going to trounce them. And I actually thought we should have been scoring more goals against them. They were awful. They were so bad. But, on to the next one. But I can't believe I can't believe some of the stats that are coming out. You know, you've got the win against Watford was great, but then you go to Everton, who I know are not playing well. They're not playing well, and they're in a lot of trouble. I think they are in a lot of trouble. This game was completely different for so many different reasons. We went back to not a placid way of playing because we played so well in the second half, first half, and I think it was a masterstroke by Bruno. Really, he played a 3-5-2. Kilman came back in for Bolly, which I suppose I wasn't surprised about, but I thought if he was going to drop anyone, it was going to be Saiss for Kilman to come in and keep Bolly because Bolly had such a great game. But I think Bruno really loves Saiss, and I think they've offered him a new 2-year contract, which I'm not. I don't know how you feel about the Saiss situation. Uh, I still believe that Bruno Lage wants to go to a back four. Now, if you think that as well, where does Saiss fit into that? Because you've got two others behind him as well with Gomez and the other centre off that we bought who played like 7 minutes against Tottenham in the League Cup. And I think he'll be like 5th choice, but they've offered him a 2-year contract. So I think if I was him, I would definitely take it. If I was Saiss, because it looks like he's loved by Mr. Lage. Right, on to the Everton game, because this was for me a defensive masterclass, and I know we've talked about how many goals we conceded this season. One of the best defensive records in the country, never mind the league. And it was probably a perfect away performance. We know that Everton's fans get on their backs. They're expected to do a lot more than what they have been doing this season. And you look at the team, it was set out not defensively, but as an away team. He brought Dendonka back in. Basically, he took Podence out of the team to stick Dendonka in. I wasn't surprised at that because he's done it before. What I was surprised at was how poor Everton were on the ball. I don't think in 2 consecutive Premier League games you've had so much possession. I've had over 60% possession against Watford and Everton. I don't think that's happened like for a very long time. We're you know, when I was watching the game, I thought there was only going to be one winner, and then Kenny got sent off for them, and that was it. Then they just capitulated. I think it was a difficult place to go and win, but we've done it twice now. I think we're a much better team than Everton, and we have been for a very long time. Which I can see him getting relegated. Really, have you seen the games that they've got coming up? Like the next 6 games are crazy hard. Newcastle are on like the up. They were unfortunate to lose to Chelsea the other night, and then they've got like 4 games against Arsenal, United, Chelsea, City, something ridiculous like that. I can't see him getting a goal. Never mind a win or 2 from that. They were awful. Like we had 14 shots on goal. 3 were on target. They had 7 shots on goal and 2 on target. They were the home team. They're trying to stay off relegation. They've got 3 games in hand to Burnley. Burnley ain't going down. I know they lost to Brentford, but Burnley don't go down. And now Watford have beaten Southampton. That's going to be a very, very interesting relegation fight. But we're not interested in that, are we? We're interested in the fight for 7th place primarily, because I think if we get European football, we're going to get it'll be a fantastic achievement, bigger than Nuno's first season, in my opinion. Stuart, you are going to get some stick for this. I may get some stick for this, but we need to improve the quality of our defence. We don't have the luxury of allowing our defence to be exposed to one-on-ones, and thus at times it affects the attack. Yeah, I don't disagree with the sentiment that you're saying there, but I don't think you can say that we need to improve the quality of the defence when we've conceded so few goals. That's the job of the defence, to to not let the opposition score, and we are bloody good at it. But I know what you're saying. But I will have to disagree. I just think we do defend really well. And Connor Cody, man, that header, bloody difficult that was. That's a skill. He was facing away from the ball. He had to bend his neck. It's quality. And the cross, like, Ruben Neves had a lot to do there. He had 2 men around him, and he makes the space. I think, talking of defenders, getting in on the action, Adam, nice to have you on the stream, mate. Do you think that Sais will sign a new deal? I think he might sign a 1-year extension. Well, apparently, I was looking on the Wolves Fancast Instagram page, and they've offered him a 2-year deal, which I'm quite surprised at, if I'm being honest. Depending on which way we want to go with the defenders, if he's got anything about him, he'll sign it. But I don't think he's going to be the main defense if we go to a back four. He's not going to be one of the main defenders. He's going to be a backup in a back four, in my opinion. But I would like him to sign, because he's a great squad player. He gives absolutely everything to the cause, and he's great for the dressing room. Well, we've got like 3 players that are on the last year of the contracts, haven't we? We've got John Ruddy, which I think we probably he's great in the dressing room, but I think we should give some younger talent a little bit of a go. Really, he's basically a cheerleader, isn't he? He's what Cody was when we went to the Euros. Stuart, I do agree. Cody playing a back four, should we transition to it? Yes. I think it's that long-standing question, isn't it? It's, can Cody play in a 4? But we haven't really tried for a very long time. And I think if Bruno Lage thinks that this is working, and it definitely is, with the squad size that we've got, I really don't think it's going to be an issue, because what I think, if you go to a back four, do you take away the attacking capabilities of Johnny and Aitneri, Semedo making the runs? They play really well as wing backs, in my opinion. But I don't think anybody can moan about how we're playing at the moment. Like, there's another stat there are like, the stats are coming, and I'm just not believing that it's our club. Like, only Liverpool have got more points than us this year in the Premier League. That's crazy. That's like, how can anybody moan about that? Like, 21 points, 7 wins in 2022 so far. That's an incredible statistic. And the fact that we've got more points now in the middle of March than we did for the entirety of last season is credit to Bruno Lage, is credit to the team. And actually, he should be applauded for what he's done at the club. The way he's brought new lease of life into Max Kilman, bought Jose Sarr. Podence's a completely different player now. He was fantastic when he came on against Everton, and he was fantastic against Watford as well. I think he plays really well now with Jimenez. I think Bruno Lage wants to make the Wang Jimenez partnership work a bit more than the Podence one. I think he just rates Wang. I think he does. But let's talk about the Saiz deal. Pixel Yeti Media, easy for me to say. 2-year deal gives Wolves security to be able to sell the year after. Fair point. Keep him for 12 more months as a squad player if we sign another centre back or we change system. Then sell him with a year left on it. Yeah, absolutely. I get where you're coming from, and actually business wise, it'll be great for us to do that because we would get more money for him. But he's also got the security of getting the 2-year contract. So yeah, I agree with that. This one, Zagorak, nice to have you on the stream. Thank you. Size could be crucial for Aitnery's growth since you can hear him give Ryan instructions in French during the game. Didn't even think of that. What a really, really good point. I'm just trying to think of other players in the team who speak French. I can't think of any. So yeah, I think that's probably Stuart, incredible sign of progression. I think you're talking about the points tally. For me, he's got to be in with a shout for manager of the season. If we get top 6, he's manager of the season. There's no question in my mind. If he gets us to 6th in the league, that he's the manager of the season. There's absolutely no question with the size of squad that he's got to play with. Yeah, I want to read this out because it's just really nice. Hi, Mar. I think you're awesome. Keep up the amazing work you do. Lovely and kind man. Anonymous. That means that. But thanks. Cody has scored more league goals than Messi this season. The joke's supposed to be at the end of the stream, Ian. But yeah, if that's factually correct, then that's funnier than any joke, really. That's a crazy stat. God, I thought I had some good ones here. This is a good one. First league double over Everton since 1973. And it's a long time. It's a long old time. Nearly 50 years since we've done the league double over Everton. Not played them many times over those 50 years, but, you know. This is a good point by Adam. I think then in the summer, Marcel will go on a free. Yeah, maybe. Ryan Giles, yes, will compete with Aitnery on the left. So you got some right, okay. Yeah. Semedo, Johnny on the right. God, it's like picking your favourite child. And on the left, you've got Ryan Giles, who has come on leaps and bounds. And Aitnery, who nobody can tell me that he's not playing awesome. He's playing awesome. I was quite surprised actually that he was left on the bench for the Everton game. I think he gives us just a different dimension. I think Marcel. I think Lage really rates Marcel. He feels as though he gives him more stability, but the lack of us going forward. That was my only. If I can say criticism, it's not even a criticism, but if I'm nitpicking, which I completely am, if you put Dendoncker in there, who did a great job, by the way, he just did what Dendoncker does. You know, he's not the quickest player in the world. But I think if you play Marcel, it takes away the dynamic approach to the game. Aitner just bombs down the left. He bombs down, and he works really well with Sois. And that was what we got when we played Watford. And you didn't really get that with Everton. We just played. Yeah, yeah, Stuart, you're right. He's a fullback. He's a fullback, not a wing back. And that's why he doesn't play in a 3-4-3 very well. He's a 3-5-2 type, or a 5-3-2, 3-5-2. I don't think there's no way that Herver's going to be a Wolves player next season. He'll go out on loan, or we'll get rid and cut our losses. Large doesn't rate him. He's going to need a massive attitude adjustment if he's going to be anywhere near the first team. Herver, I just don't. I don't rate him. I don't rate him, and I know he's young, but so is Aitner. And look at the difference, night and day. If you want to get in the team, work harder. Just ask Joe Moutinho. He works hard. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Do you think we'll sign a new right wing back or stick with Johnny in that spot? Not. I don't think we need to. I know he's not the quickest in the world, but he's solid. I would definitely, as a backup, like Semedo's. I think when Semedo's back, he's gonna have a really hard decision to make, because the way Johnny's playing, how do you not play? Say that. How can you not play Semedo? We are not in need of any right-sided defenders, in my opinion. I think we're all good. Definitely, a header with Cody was a thing of beauty. Clearly, Hervo has not met the standards expected. I fully supported Bruno's stance. We can't afford to carry passengers. We can't. We haven't got a big enough squad to have passengers. Like, I think we're fine. I know somebody said earlier about the defense not being as good as what it could be, which I agree. It's like there's always room for improvement, but if we're just saying change the formation for formation's sake, then I don't agree with that. I think I really believe that the three centre backs is not an issue. Not the way we're playing. Like, if we can play right. Sorry, I'm rambling. You play three at the back against Watford, for example. You can still play an attacking brand of football with three centre backs if you play a 3-4-3. If this is what's going to be going on going forward, you play a 3-5-2 away from home, and you play a 3-4-3 at home, and alternate Dendoncker and Pedence, or alternate Dendoncker and Hwang, and you play the two up top, Jimenez and Pedence, or Jimenez and Hwang. And I think I don't think you're going to be far wrong there. I obviously think that you've got Moutinho. Who thinks Moutinho should be offered a long contract? I do. And it's not necessarily because I think he's going to play well into like his 40s or anything. I really think that Moutinho could do a really good job coaching. And we all know how much Lage rates him. He could do a great thing in the coaching role. Like, saying that, you probably want to still play next season as a first choice player. And if he does go abroad, he won't necessarily get, you get to play, might get to play in Europe with us. I just think, yeah. I think I just love him. I love him. But saying that, I no longer think he's the best player that I've seen in a Wolves shirt. Ruben Neves is. Ruben Neves or Jean Moutinho. Vote now. I'll be interested to see who you think. Who's the best midfielder overall since they've been with the club? Is it Jean Moutinho or is it Ruben Neves? And don't just take this season. Don't just take last season. I want all my 3.5 seasons since those players have been at the club. I am intrigued to know if you think it's Neves or Moutinho. Take it all as one big. Well, Neves is winning so far. I know they're at different stages of their careers, but the first season, I think Moutinho was better. I think the second season they're about the same. Third season Neves, and this season obviously Neves. I think it's just been. What do we think, man, with Ruben Neves? Do we think that he's going to stay? This is about Moutinho, I believe. If we phase him out slowly, he'll be a vital member of the squad, even with reduced playing time. Yeah, I agree with that, Stuart. What I'm trying to say, will he be able to cope with that? Will he want to play? He doesn't seem the type of player that wants to do a John Ruddy and stay on the sidelines. He wants to play. This is an interesting one. Could we ask Barcelona if we could swap Adama for Coutinho? Tell you what, he's doing all right. Well, they're both doing all right, actually. Apparently, Barcelona won him. Barcelona want Adama, which is great. You know, I think in that situation, everybody wins. When we had Adama Traore, oh God, here we go. I'm not Craig, by the way. I'm not. He's a good. For me, Adama Traore gave us a different, varied attack. But watching how we play now, we don't cross the ball into the penalty box now. Jimenez can't head a ball now, and Podence's 3 foot. Wang, he's not exactly massive. I think we're playing some lovely football, intricate passes. I think when Adama Traore was on the pitch, that was what he did. Like, he went to the byline and he tried to cross it in. But if nobody's in the box, then it's just not our thing anymore. So I think it would be great for all concerned if he's able to go to Barcelona, play in his home country for one of the biggest clubs in the world. We get, what was it? I don't know what it was, 30 million. No, like, which I think that's good business. I really do. Do we think we're going to beat Leeds? That's the thing. Like, I think Leeds are fighting for their lives. I'm kind of glad that they got that last minute win against Norwich, because if they hadn't have got that, they would have been like holding on by their fingertips. And I think they've given them a bit of breathing space. And I think that will help us. Because I would, if I was Mr. Bruno Lage, I really think that I would play a back three of Bolly, Cody, and Kilman. Because I like the sound of that. But I don't think he will. He loves Saïs too much, especially after offering him a 2-year contract. So I think Saïs will stay. I think Marcel will leave. and I think probably John Ruddy will leave as well. This is an interesting question. Pixel Yeti Media. Riddle me this. Why has Neves' free kick ability gone missing? In the championship, you could put your house on it going into the top bins. Does he just love the mitre ball? He might do, but he must practice it constantly when he's like training. So I kind of think, surely it makes no difference. And he must like the Premier League ball a little bit more. You see the goal he scored against Watford, like it's just a thing of beauty. Thank you, Erin. Thank you very much for subscribing, liking, and put the notifications on. We're here every single week. But yeah, like it's been a weird one today, guys, because obviously I thought Craig was going to be around to chat and stuff. So I'm in your hands, really. Here we go. Shrewsbury Wolf, nice to have you back. I only just joined, so I don't care what you guys are talking about, but I think we performed better against Everton than Watford. The scoreline flattered us as 2 of the goals were lucky and the other was world class. I only just joined, so I don't care what you guys have spoken about. So angry. Why are you angry? You know what? I don't disagree with that statement at all. I think it was just a different type of performance, wasn't it? There was only Richarlison that was doing anything for Everton. But I thought we looked like a really polished, seasoned Premier League team that was gunning for Europe, and Everton looked like a team that had no confidence on the ball. It was slow. And we played to annoy. Oh, sorry. Sorry. I don't. Of course, I said it'd be IDC, wouldn't it? I don't know. No, I don't care. Bless you. Thank you. Wow. We did do a second single, actually. We did do a second single. First one went to number 1. The second one went to number 19. That's probably why you don't know that we did. But I completely agree with that, Shrewsbury Wolf. I think the reason why it's a better victory, I think that we silenced the crowd. I think we're a really good away team, actually. We silenced the crowd with the way we played in the first half. I also think against Watford, we were expected to blow them away after the first goal because they were so poor. Everton actually, in the first half, especially, that they really, it looked as though they were really up for the fight. I think we just sucked the life out of them. Thanks, Shrewsbury Wolf. I appreciate that. I won't be so rude to a TV icon. I don't know who that is, the TV icon that you're speaking of, but you're not rude. Don't you worry. I just think they're both fantastic performances. But I really do think that the Everton one made me think that we are now a proper Premier League team, and it's beautiful to see. You look at the table. I know we've played a couple of games more than Tottenham, but we're 10 points ahead of Villa in 9th place. So for me, unless something absolutely drastic happens, we're going to be top 10 this season. And what I can't believe that is the case with the squad that we've got. He's done a fantastic job. We need to really think about how good Bruno Lage has done here. Yeah, Spencer, nice to have you on the stream, mate. If you finish 10th this season, will you be disappointed? I know I would be. Yeah, I would, but at the beginning of the season, Spencer, like there's no way. I defy anybody to say that they would have been disappointed with the top 10 finish before the start of the season. We didn't know about Bruno Lage. I know he had championship experience with Sheffield Wednesday's assistant manager, but I like I would definitely have ripped your arm off with a 10th place finish. But now, of course, the way we're playing, the way we're beating teams that we should be beating, and the run that we've got, yeah, I would be gutted. But in the context of what we have as a squad and as a team, would I be? It's the hope that kills you type argument, isn't it? It's like, we can see European football. I think 8th would be unbelievable. Like, I know it's not European football, but God, 8th in the Premier League with the squad we've got, like the size of squad we've got, it's a bloody, that's a miracle. That's why I'm saying, like, if we get 6th, like, he should be manager of the season, no question. Hi Ben, how you doing, mate? Great show as always. Oh, thanks, that's very kind. I'm trying my best because I'm on me Todd tonight, but yeah, I'm just looking at we've won 14 games out of 29. That is very impressive for a team with a squad size that we have. This is an interesting one. I think the team that started against Everton is pretty much our best team with Aït-Nouri in and Pedence in for Wang. The two up top, like a traditional tall guy and small guy, but both can dribble. Yes. I don't think I'd have Dendoncker in my best 11. I actually think I'd rather play Neves and Moutinho as a 2 and have the extra forward, if I'm being totally honest. I agree with Aït-Nouri in for Marcel, definitely. Johnny over Semedo is a big call, though. It's a huge call, actually. I don't think you can drop Semedo for the season he's had. I think it would be harsh on Johnny to take him out, but you can't drop Semedo if he's fit. He's been fantastic. But Kilman, Cody, Saiss, yeah. I know what I was saying about Kilman coming in for Saiss for the next game, but yeah, you tried and tested. Kilman's obviously he's got other issues going on, but I would go Sarr, Kilman, Cody, Saiss. I'd play Neves and Moutinho in a 2 in midfield. I think Aït-Nouri and Semedo just instead of Johnny, and I love Johnny to bits, but you can't drop him. You can't drop Semedo. Sorry. I think I wouldn't play Hwang in my best 11. I'd play Neto if he's fully fit. Pedence and Jimenez. That would be mine. Let's have a look. Pixel Yeti Media. Realistic, I think 7th is on. It is. We're in it at the moment. And it would be good enough again for Europe. Like, how do we feel about this? If we let's compare it to the squad we had in the first season and the second season that we were in the league, and we both came 7th. Isn't this a bigger achievement if we do get 7th? Do you not think? Like, isn't that a bit? Bruno Lage being in his first. I know, to be fair, Nuno, that was his first season in the Premier League as well. Not saying it wasn't a massive achievement, but I'm just comparing squads here, and I think if we got European football this season, it'd be the biggest achievement that we've had all the way through. Amazing. Shrewsbury Wolf doesn't agree with my 11. Dendoncker is what we need in midfield. Martino and Neves are world class, but we need that bully in the midfield. To be fair, I forgot about Semedo. He would be in the best 11. Yeah, horses for courses, isn't it? But in an ideal world for me, I would prefer to play the extra striker. I much prefer us playing in a 3-4-3 than a 3-5-2. And that's just me being pernickety. Darren, lovely to have you on the stream, mate. I'd play Johnny left back and Ryan a bit further up top. Oh, okay. You know what? That's not a bad shout, you know. That's not a bad shout at all. And like just take out Hwang. So you're playing like this hybrid system. Like Aitnery playing further up instead of Hwang on the left. So you've got Johnny left back and yeah. Try it. Like yeah. This is a great question. Cheers, Stuart. Other than the investment in the squad, what other area of the club do you feel is in most need of capital investment? Well, I always think, I do think that the stadium needs a little bit of updating. But I do agree with the fact that the team always comes first. I think the stadium is a secondary aspect to it because you need to stay in the league and collect all the money that goes with it, and then you work on the stadium. I think our youth policy is working really well. The under 18s are fantastic. Our kids, you know, I know we've brought a lot of kids in, you know, Fabio Silvas of this world, but I think the academy is working really well. So I don't necessarily think that the investment needs to come in for that. It would be nice to have a bit more, I don't know, some marquee signings. Like we all know that the pandemic has kind of completely ruined any chance of spending shed loads of money on one player for the foreseeable future, I think. I have also read that we've got the 9th highest wage bill in the league. So if you look at the league, we're 7th, 9th biggest wage bill. We're kind of on parity where we should be at the moment, or even exceeding that. So I can't see any. I think the women's team needs more investment. Definitely. I think they're great set of players, and I think they're going to do really, really well if they're given the right investment. And I think Fosun will. But yeah, I think investment-wise, just keep it the players for the time being, and in the next 3 to 5 years, sort out the Steve Ball stand. But yeah, Shrewsbury Wolf, we were talking about how we compare the different seasons. First season, the Premier would be more impressive because all the players were raw. Most of the players now have a lot of Premier League experience. Yeah, I get that. My argument would be is that other teams in the league have got better. In my opinion, I think they've invested more. They've got bigger squads. You could say that Villa have got a better squad than us. Tottenham, you know, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United, West Ham. You could, like, you look at a team like Newcastle now, who are 14th. We'll be above them. They've got probably a better squad than us now. The Leicesters of this world. Well, I think we're punching above our weight a lot more this season. Darren, I hope Fosun don't reconsider putting money in the UK in the World Cup. Yeah, I think there's always that issue, isn't there? And there's going to be that's going to be around for a long time, I think. But I don't think we have to worry about Fosun leaving us. They're having their own little chat here. Sure, Darren, that's an interesting point. My concern also extends to Fosun staying in favour of a Chinese communist government. Yeah, but you could say that about the way the world is at the moment. Blimey, you could. We're not in the position of Chelsea. Blimey, Chelsea. Yeah, as is China. Bit dodgy, but it ain't as dodgy as the old Roman Abramovich situation. Pixel Yeti Media. Take a few more and then we shall go. What do you think about our on loan players? Gibbs White, an important player next year. Rowney scoring screamers, Nevers will be proud of. Yeah. I think it's all about levels, though, isn't it? It's like, and I'm not saying this to be rude, but there are levels to this. Is Morgan Gibbs White getting in the team at the moment? He ain't getting in our team. And that's probably why he's at Sheffield United at the moment, because he didn't want to be a squad player. Don't get me wrong, he's working hard, and that's what you want your young players to do. Herved tech note. But I don't think Morgan Gibbs White is the saviour of our midfield situation. I think he's a good, seasoned player. But I don't think I wouldn't mind if he stayed at Sheffield United. Let's just put it like that. But I think he's decent. On paper, all those teams were better than us in the first season as well, but I do agree that others have improved whilst we've stagnated a bit. Also, I've heard that Marcel has been linked with the Brazilian Premier League club on a free in the summer. I'm guessing he'll go with Giles coming in to compete with. I think, we have touched on that, and I think it's time. It's time to give Giles a go. I think, especially as an understudy for Itinerary, he's earned it, I think. But yeah, Marcel was always a stopgap. He was never, we didn't buy Marcel with the future in mind. He's got papier-mâché knees and legs but he does a job. He does a job when he's on the field. He doesn't do anything fantastically, and it wouldn't bother me at all if he went. If Giles is coming in, that would, thanks, Erin. Thank you very much, and glad you enjoyed it. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say really, except thanks, Stuart. Much appreciated. Done a great job tonight. If you need a shoe-in co-host, let me know. I'll let Craig know. He'll be gutted, but hey, it's business at the end of the day. Craig, who? Showbiz. But obviously, we have to end with the joke, so we shall. Thanks, Ian, as always. All right. My next door neighbour gets people to worship exhaust pipes. He's a Catholic converter. Oh, Ian, they're just getting better. Have you got a book, a joke book that I can get my hands on? Because that's the one, mate. That is the one. As always, thank you ever so much for supporting the channel. It really, really is nice of you. as you can see, I'm putting this on because I'm working the buttons and everything. Subscribe if you haven't already. It really does help us out. And yeah, let's put this. Welcome to Wandering Wolf. Oh, look at me with all the professional. I'm just changing it constantly. Yeah, get on the social, WV1 Wolf on Twitter, Instagram. You can now download the podcast from Spotify, Amazon, Ask Alexa, or Deezer, or download directly from Buzzsprout. Thank you guys. As always, been an absolute pleasure. And fingers crossed we get Craig back next week, because I've got to admit, it is a lot easier with him. But thank you guys, you've looked after me tonight, and fingers crossed we are celebrating another win against Leeds. All right, I've been Mark from Wandering Wolf. Take care, guys. Good night. See you next week.